Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jamie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas Longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today.
So today I'm joined with Courtney Feigl from Green Pastures Cattle Company, and we're going to talk with Courtney a little bit about her previous social media experience, which you'll find was exciting and also devastating. And so she has some tips for us today that she's going to go over. So Courtney, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Do you want to start by telling the group a little bit about you and your husband's cattle company and just kind of a little bit of history?
Sure. So Aaron is my husband. For Green Pastures Cattle Co. We started our herd like 3 years ago now. We are South Central Wisconsin. He's a third generation farmer, and I was raised in the suburbs. So this was all new to me like 3 years ago.
Doing great. Can't tell.
Thanks. We sell our beef on the farm store. We remodeled that area of our shed like 2 years ago.
All right. So if our listeners want to follow you on social media, they can look on Instagram at Mrs. Green Pastures Cattle. Is that right? Oh,
yes. Yep.
All right. And so looking today, it looks like you have 47 posts and about 8,100 followers. So let's rewind back to January of this year, about 2 months ago. And why don't you tell our listeners how many Instagram followers you had at that point?
I had 34.8 thousand.
So what happened? Tell us the story.
Okay, here we go. So at that point, I was thinking, well, I wonder if Instagram will let me get verified. And that just means that your account gets this little blue check mark by it, and it just looks more official. And so I just went ahead and I went in the settings and I filled out the form. And it's very vague. It doesn't say like how Instagram will contact you or like a timeline or anything. So I filled that out. 2 weeks go by, and all of a sudden I get this message, and it showed up in my direct messages. And it like alerted my phone, which is weird. Like it made a noise, and I don't have my direct messages set up to notify me like that. So I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I clicked on it. I was like, oh, it's from Instagram. And it had the official Instagram logo. It sounded professional. It was just saying, we've reviewed your application to get verified and you're eligible. All we need you to do is click this link and fill out a few more things. And so I was like, okay, I was skeptical, but I clicked the link and it asked for some generic info. Like, I think it was my email or something. There's a few questions, but I filled it out and I was like, okay, so far so good. I haven't given them any information. If this is a fraud, like I haven't given out too much information here. I also clicked on the account that messaged me and it didn't go anywhere. Like normally if you click on the message, it goes to the person's account that messaged you. And it didn't go anywhere. So I was like, oh, maybe this really is Instagram. So anyways, after I filled out the few questions on the link, it took me to it made it look like it logged me out of Instagram, and it was the same exact login screen that we're all used to. And so I was like, oh, okay, it logged me out. Now I got to log back in. That's weird. That was a red flag. I should have been smarter. But so I tried to log back in, and it actually was a fake login page. And when I put in my username and password, I sent it directly to my hacker. So right away, I got notified that I got an email notification that someone from Chicago, Illinois had signed into my Instagram account. And there were no options it said in the email from Instagram, it said, secure your account here, if this wasn't you. And so I clicked it, and it just took me to the Instagram support center where I'm supposed to do these steps, and none of the steps really did anything, because as soon as my hacker took over my account, they changed the password, obviously, the email address, and the phone number, and they set up two-factor authentication. So anytime like I went through the Instagram support center, it was saying you can ask for a link to recover your account. Well, anytime I asked for like a reset your password link, it would send that to my hacker's email or phone number. So that was useless.
And you didn't have two-factor on before all of this, right? You didn't know about
I did not. I didn't know about it. So yeah, that's kind of what happened.
So besides going through Instagram's kind of their help page and their troubleshooting, what else did you go through trying to recover your following in your account?
Well, first I read that the help center like up and down a million times, and it gave steps like do this, 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 this. And I tried everything, and I didn't even have like the same options to click on. So after that kind of was a dead end. And actually there was a report. There are reports through that help center that you can fill out. So I did that. But they probably get millions of those a day. So I don't expect to really hear from them that way. One other thing I tried was Instagram does not have tech support. So I tried going through Facebook ads. They have a tech support. So I went through my Facebook page and talked to many live agents, and they all kind of just told me the same thing, like, we can't help you. Your best bet is to fill out the reports that I already did. So that was kind of a dead end as well.
Did you ever hear from the hackers themselves after they took over your account?
Oh, yes. So I messaged, so they had my account for like 2 or 3 days. I messaged them through an old account, which is now Mrs. Green Pasture's Cattle. And I was just like, give my account back. Like, it's not valuable to you. Like, they were posting, they did make a post about like how they made $315,000 and to, message me here to find out how you can make this much money. And it's like all my followers knew, like, that's obviously not me. And it was like a picture of a dude standing in front of a fancy car. And so it's kind of like this, my followers are not valuable to just any person. Like, it's the farming community, the ranching community that follow me. So he replied with, if you give me $10,000, I'll give your account back. And if you don't give me $10,000, then I'll start deleting your content and I will sell your account on the dark web. So I just kind of strung him along, like, yeah, okay, I'll get you the money. Just hoping like I would hear from Instagram in the meantime, because I was afraid he was going to just start deleting all my stuff or delete my page. But then I reported that my account a million times, and all my followers also reported it. So then it got disabled. So it's been disabled this whole time, pretty much.
So you couldn't even go access your old posts that you had made or anything to try to recover some of that content to reuse then?
No. I mean, I remember talking to you right away, Molly, and I think it was you. And you recommended that I do screen recordings of at least some of my reels while the account was still up and running. And so I did that. I recorded a bunch of my reels that like kind of did well. So I did that, and I was able to, when I started over, I had at least some content to post.
Yeah, folks don't realize how much work goes into just one reel. And so to lose all of that is a massive amount of time that not only followers, but just a lot of your time. So
Right.
Love what you're hearing? Be sure to check out our Pickup Truck Confessions. It's a video series where we hop in the truck or rental car and interview a variety of breeders about what drives their passion for their livestock, how they got started in the breed of their choice, marketing tips, and more. And now, back to the podcast.
So anything else that was kind of happening during that time between trying to get your account back and them trying to blackmail you? Were there any other happenings or red flags or anything?
I mean, not that I can think of. I wish I would have had two-factor authentication turned on. So I'm trying to get the message out to definitely turn that on, because this probably wouldn't have happened.
So for our listeners that maybe don't know what that is or are new to Instagram, there's a couple different ways I believe you can do it. When someone tries to log into your account, it can text you a code. And so that's, hopefully your phone number is hooked up correctly and you're the one getting the text to verify that someone logged in. Or I believe you can use like an authentication app that is a similar thing. You put it on your phone, it tells you a code or has a little checkbox that way. And that is in Instagram's security and privacy settings, right?
Yes. Yep.
So besides turning on two-factor, is there any advice you have for folks who either are worried about being hacked or have been hacked, or just anything you've learned that you can share with them?
Yes. So I've done a lot of research, and I've heard all these accounts that this has happened to them. And I feel like the reoccurrent theme is you click on a link, whatever it may be, and then they get you because it makes it look like you've logged out. So anytime you get a screen that makes it look like you've logged out, or you get an email saying you need to log in, that's not real. And that is how they get your login information. I had a friend, an Instagram follower, the other day messaged me that she got an email saying, supposedly from Instagram, it looked official, and it said, a lot of people have been reporting your account. Click here and log in to appeal it, or something like that. And so she almost clicked it. She did click it, but she didn't fill in she thought to herself, Courtney would say not to do this. She sent me a screenshot. She's like, is this legit? And I'm like, don't do it. So, anytime you get an email or a message from someone claiming to be Instagram and it wants you to log in, don't do it. So,
and I would imagine, like, I don't have experience with this, but I would imagine that if folks are getting that screen that's asking them to log in, one surefire way to be absolutely sure before you do anything is to close out of the app and everything. And when you reopen it, see how it's behaving. Are you already logged in? Is it asking you to log in? Is that, would you say that's their advice?
Yes. That's what I told her too. So, yep, it was a fraud.
So, and just to be clear, your Facebook business page wasn't affected at all. It was strictly just your Instagram account, or did you not have a Facebook business associated with it?
So they were linked. My Facebook and Instagram were linked, so that anytime I posted on Instagram, it would automatically post on Facebook. But they had different logins, so that saved me from losing my Facebook account as well, I believe, because they could not get in that way.
Okay.
So at least I had that.
Looking on the bright side, right?
Yes.
So how many followers are you back up to today?
This morning I had 8,000. So I'm getting there.
So still a little bit of difference between 30,000 in less than a year and 8,000 in a couple months, though. Still huge. I mean, that's more followers than some of our listeners have in multiple years. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing, what's working for you, what do you post that you see that you gain the most new followers back or new from?
So I found that gaining followers really comes from reels, making reels. And you want consistency and you want to add value in some way to your viewers. So if you have those two things, then you will gain followers.
Would it be fair to say that one of the values that you have found kind of a niche for is humor?
Yes. I think like relatable humor does very well.
And a lot of your humor, like you said, is centered around farming, ranching, raising animals. I know you've been doing some artwork, which I think is different from before or new from before.
Yes. Yep.
Sometimes I see your kids, sometimes I see your husband, but I would say only a small percentage of your reels have the cattle in them, or the meat in them. You're looking for a way just to basically relate to your audience, like you said.
Exactly. Yep.
So
and sorry.
Go for it.
And all your reels should relate back to your niche. That's important too.
So besides reels, is there anything you do that that you find works well?
That's basically the ticket right there. Consistency in posting and reels, relatable reels that relate back to your niche.
When you make a reel and you're tracking the analytics on it and it's doing well, do you decide to share it to your story? Do you do anything else with it to try to help it along a little bit, or do you just kind of let it play out organically?
So as soon as I post a reel, I will automatically share it to my stories and I will save it and like it. I don't know if that helps, but I feel like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm just giving it a little head start here. But yeah, I share every single one to my stories. Don't ever delete a reel, because sometimes you won't see, you'll post something and it won't do well for like 30 days and then it will just take off. So don't ever delete a reel unless it's not like related to your niche, but they have like a long shelf life. So you won't see progress for a while. Like all my reels that are doing well right now, I created like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So you have to be patient. It's not going to be immediate most of
Right. Yes, exactly.
So because of what kind of the loss that you suffered in your number of followers, have you changed the role that social media plays in your overall marketing plan at all? Are you still completely reliant on it? Have you tried to build up other funnels to kind of reach people if that should ever happen again, or, you know, Instagram goes down or anything like that?
You know, I hate that I'm still kind of reliant on them. In case this happens again. And also there was that one day recently that all of Facebook and Instagram went down. So that's the part that kind of sucks. But I should, so you guys helped me set up a way to, if people go to our website, they can put in their email address and kind of subscribe in that way. So at least like I can have people's emails in case this happens again as a way to contact them. Because that was the other thing, like once my Instagram account was taken from me, I had all these relationships built with all these businesses and people, and I'm like, how do I contact them? I don't even have like phone numbers or emails or anything. So at least this way I should kind of promote it more on my page to like go to our website and fill out your email. So I should do that more, but that's hopefully a nice little safety net.
I know a lot of our other customers too who have experienced something similar or just don't want to be completely reliant on social, also utilize text message marketing too. So that's another, you know,
that's true. Yeah.
that people could add to their website as well to collect that information.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you found with the following that you're gaining back that there's a certain segment that's going faster than others? Like, have you been able to recover a lot of your local farmers market buyers, or maybe a lot of the taxidermy clients? Like, is there a certain segment that went really quickly to regain?
It's hard to say. Well, actually, I feel like I regained a lot of the farming community right away. Like the bigger accounts that I have already built a relationship with. Those were kind of easy to get back because as I came across them, I would message them and just tell them what happened, and they would immediately follow me and share my new page. So the hacker may have taken away my account, but I have already put in years of forming relationships with other farms and accounts. So at least they couldn't take that away from me.
That's good.
Yeah.
So any other advice or anything like that in closing before I ask you our last question?
Just the 2-factor authentication and don't trust any links.
They can't say they weren't warned now, right?
Yes.
So I know that you probably have some awesome, exciting, maybe secretive, fun plans for the future related to your social media. Are you willing to share any of that with us? Can we get a little sneak peek of what's to come? Give our listeners a reason to go follow you?
Sure. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and not be scared to show myself my weird sense of humor. There's also, Instagram is rolling out a way to pay content creators like me. So like there's bonus options on your reels, so you can actually get paid through that. I'd like to push more artwork that I've been doing. So yeah, those are all things to look forward to for things I kind of want to do.
Awesome. Well, me personally, and I know Jamie too, we love your humorous where you're not, your humorous reels where you're not afraid to be yourself. Those are our favorites. So I'd say keep doing those. But we love everything else too, the artwork and everything. I think your account is awesome, and a lot of folks can definitely learn from what you're doing right, but also kind of some of the stumbles that have happened.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Much. Yeah, anytime.
And we'll be sure to link your Hired Hand website and also all of your social media handles in our show notes so that folks can reach out if they have questions and hopefully give you a follow.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.